Hello, and welcome to the premiere episode of the Fistful of Popcorn podcast. We did a backdoor pilot basically last week on the Hallway Wrestling podcast. Me, Kieran's other podcast. And I'm the host, and with me as always, my co-host,
Michael Sweeney.
Michael Teeny Weeny Sweeney, and my other co-host,
Matthew O'Reilly.
Matthew O'Reilly, doing the accent again, just like last week.
Matthew O'Reilly.
Matthew O'Reilly.
So we're gonna try and do this every week. We're gonna try and do a little film podcast if it happens, if we're able to meet up every week, because it's kind of fun. We had fun doing it last week. We talked about all the
we're
MCU
aspiring
films.
film students ourselves. So.
Yeah. This week we're gonna be discussing. Okay, don't move the table. We're gonna talk about the week in news in movies, and then we're gonna go over 3 Quentin Tarantino films. And over the next few weeks, we're gonna go through all of his films leading up to his next one, his 9th one, right?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in
It's meant to be very good.
Well, I don't know. I'll wait till I see it before I make a judgment, Wow, the enthusiasm off you guys right now. It's just... Okay, first bit of news. Andy Serkis closes deal to direct Venom 2.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
And he's only done one movie.
What did he do?
He's directed 2 or 3.
He's done Mowgli, and that was his only big
He did
one.
that. He directed a movie with Andrew Garfield. It's like a romance movie called... I can't remember. And there's another one that I can't remember the name of. But I think he's directed 2 or 3, yeah. Well, I'm excited about it.
Look, it's... he knows how to do mocap stuff, but he's not playing any mocap characters, I assume.
Well, it'd be great if he voiced Venom, because he's like the perfect person.
They've already gotten the voice of Venom, though. It's Venom 2. Tom Hardy
but what
voiced
if he took over? That'd be great.
That would be a bit inconsistent. I don't know. I just hope they cancel Venom. Throw him in the MCU. Go on. Do it. Or don't. I don't
They
care.
won't need to cancel it. They'll just throw him in.
Carnage is going to be in it, played by Woody Harrelson, and his ridiculous haircut.
Yeah, that awful wig. Ooh.
Has he been in one before?
He was in a post-credit scene.
He was in the
Venom.
post-credit.
Was he? I haven't
Yeah.
seen Venom.
Remember that Venom
It's
song?
not very good.
Oh, it was so good.
By Eminem.
The Venom. That's the only part I remember.
Sounds amazing.
Venom.
Modern Eminem
Ralph
truly is the
Eminem
best
in
Eminem.
Minnesota.
Fuck off about Ralph Eminem.
If he's listening to this, you're really hurting us, really.
I like him.
I'm more of an R. Kelly fan now, to be honest.
It's a bit edgy.
It's the remix to Ignition.
The Lighthouse got its first trailer.
I can't wait!
This is Willem Dafoe, right?
Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson.
Batman and Green Goblin.
A24. Get inside me.
The crossover we all wanted but never deserved. Batman and Green Goblin.
Willem Dafoe is such a good actor.
He really is. He's
So
great.
good.
He was so good in Aquaman.
His best role is definitely Spider-Man 1.
Look, it's probably not. I haven't seen much Willem Dafoe,
It's
so...
it's his best role.
It's really good.
Jeez.
No, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to seeing more Rob Pattinson, so I can get a better view of how good his acting is for the Batman.
Just watch all 5 Twilight films.
Oh yeah,
Like, you can really base his career off that, can't you?
no,
Yeah,
he's
it's
meant
all
to
he's
be
done,
really
you know?
good in that
Good
movie,
time.
Good Times. That's meant to be his
Another A24 film, guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well. I'm finally going to watch A24 films. Oh, jeez. It's my dog, if you can hear it. The Irishman got its first official teaser.
That was fucking good.
Martin
I
Scorsese.
can't
He's
wait.
back, and
I'm
he
not
has...
watching the trailers.
I believe it's the first Al Pacino Scorsese film, which doesn't sound right, but apparently it is. I'm going to kill my dog.
Alright.
Animal cruelty. Ding. Right. No, I'm not gonna watch any trailers for it because I'm really good for it.
He wears Doc Martens in it, which is quite nice.
Isn't it a Netflix movie?
I think it's getting
That's
like
crazy.
a small theatrical release, like Annihilation like last year, and then it's just go straight to Netflix.
Yeah. That's
Did
crazy.
he decide to bark now when we start this? What is it doing?
I don't know, man.
He senses it.
What does he sense?
We're doing a podcast. Dogs aren't stupid.
I mean, Robert De Niro was great in Dirty Grandpa, so I'm just reading the Irishman.
That is Aubrey Plaza in it, right? She's not good as like your slutty type.
She's hot, though.
Alright.
She's a good actress.
Yeah, but she's funny in like Parks and Rec, where she's just kind of a bitch rather than like the party girl.
She was in a really good movie like 2 years ago called like Ingrid Goes West. And she
I heard
was
about that.
Amazing in it.
That looks really good.
It's so fucking good.
I really want to watch it. Warner Brothers moves Dennis Villeneuve. June
Yeah.
to December 18, 2020. Is that ahead or before or what?
I just like it's just being off because like the cast is great for it. You know, I can only remember like
This guy made Blade Runner 2049. It's gonna be amazing.
Anything's possible with that, man.
Yeah. If like I should hope it does well because I'd like him to have a film that does well. Because he's good and Blade Runner didn't do well.
so good. That and Arrival are just two very fucking good movies.
Yes.
Have you seen Arrival?
No, I know Amy Adams is in it, and that was the film that really made people go like, "Whoa, fuck, Amy Adams is good." That and like Nocturnal Animals, which is great.
And Man of Steel. And Justice League. Justice League, that's a real one.
Okay. I'm sure people can tell what the chemistry is here. The connection between me and Michael talk about films, and Matthew chimes in with the best performances in comic book movies.
It's the best film adaptation of all time.
Tenant has gotten a poster and a what's it
Trailer,
called?
that was nice.
Trailer. Didn't watch the trailer.
I don't like. I've seen stuff about it. Don't know what it actually is about.
Yeah.
It's meant to be like a time traveling Inception, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then it's gonna make no sense.
Oh,
Inception barely makes sense, and Interstellar is just nonsense.
but you do understand it, like.
No, not really. I vaguely get Inception, but like,
Inception's just nice to remember.
If you look
It
it
is
up,
nice.
like the meaning explained, it'll all come to you. And you're like, oh,
Shut your
okay.
mouth, you fucking mutt.
Jeez, that's his dog, man. That dog has feelings. No, I'm hyped because it's Chris Nolan, obviously.
Hey, I'll tap on the glass of the dog. So
Want to go over there?
see, that's command. You know. Yeah, there we go. All right.
He's gone.
Fucking worked, holy shit.
Kevin Smith confirms Matt Damon will return as Loki in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yes.
I haven't seen Jay and
I
Silent
don't
Bob.
give a baker's fuck about that movie.
Is it Loki is in
I remember he played him
In
Thor.
Thor?
Ragnarok.
So it's gonna be comic Loki, not comic. It's
The
gonna be
worst
Marvel Loki.
The worst.
Wow.
Thor 3, the worst one.
Don't know. They have like
Thor 3, the worst one.
Shut the fuck up.
They have Melissa Benoist. Is that the one based
I
on
believe it's Melissa
Is it
Benoist.
Benoist or Benoit?
No, it's Benoist. It's Benoist.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
she's in that movie as well.
She's Supergirl.
She's so hot.
I'm not editing that out, Matthew.
Fistful
Whatever, I don't care.
objectify women in this podcast.
That's what he does.
Right, any news about the CW stuff on this? Or
Oh, it's a movie podcast,
See
isn't it?
Kevin Spacey.
So what's wrong with talking about that? Kevin Conroy is finally going to play Bruce Wayne in live action. We've waited like 30 years for this.
I don't think anyone's been demanding it, but it'll be cool.
Yeah, we're going to get Batman Beyond, so
Amazon.
we're going to get Terry McGinnis.
We're probably not getting Terry McGinnis.
You never know, dude. You never
But I
know.
wouldn't just stop tapping your foot. Please. Thank you. The Lion King has become the fourth Disney film to cross 1 billion.
It's-
This year. Just this year. There's 4 of them, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's Endgame, Spider-Man, The Lion King.
Would Spider-Man even count? Isn't that Sony? Would they get the money from that?
True. I don't know. What's the other ones then?
Maybe Toy Story?
Probably yeah.
True.
Probably Toy Story.
Yeah.
Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin did, didn't it? Fuck.
I just saw Lion King.
I didn't even bother seeing Aladdin.
I kind of want to see The Lion King.
What's next?
Just to like see if I
see it
actually
in the
enjoy it.
cinema. Don't watch it at home. I think it's best thing.
I couldn't give a shit where I see it, you know. To be perfectly honest. The cast of It Chapter 2 will be digitally de-aged. Isn't that great?
That's cool.
Is it cool?
I'm not
Who
really
cares?
hyped for that film anymore. Just so much about it. I don't like the ones.
Like what?
Like the runtime.
That's the one thing that's gotten me like, oh, okay. None of the trailers really did anything for me.
I hope they put the black suit team from Spider-Man 3 in that movie. Pennywise jumps out. And we're just like, oh shit, this is amazing.
Is that what people would say, or would they be reminded of Spider-Man 3?
Spider-Man 3 is a great movie.
It's
It's a great movie.
We're not going to get into
It's-
it right now. It really isn't. Sandman's the only good part of that movie.
Sandman's great in it. You know what we
Sandman is
should have
one of the
seen for
reasons
this
that
episode? We
holds
should have seen Hobbs and Shaw and reviewed it. Dang it.
I love Dwayne Johnson.
He's great. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is amazing.
up. I think his ego's just taking hold now.
The Rock?
Yeah.
Why?
Like I just have a feeling that he's like psychotic. I know, he's just like, he's all nice, and then I feel like behind the scenes, he's like, I want to fucking kill those people or something.
I see what's happening here.
What is
You're
that?
face to face with greatness, and it's from Moana.
Oh, I see what's happening here. You said it like you were fucking gonna kill me or some shit.
You're welcome.
That's a very good movie.
I fucking love Moana.
I really thought it was good. Except the crab part. I remember not liking the crab part. Remember the crab?
I fell asleep on that
From the
movie.
cow part.
The giant singing crab. I remember his song was shit.
I fell asleep on that movie
How could you fall asleep on
because it
that?
was pretty boring.
For Dwayne Johnson.
He's so muscly.
Yeah, his
Is this still
cartoon
recording?
self is so muscly. His cartoon self is so muscly.
It is still recording. Excellent. I'll try and edit that out.
Excellent.
Okay, let's move on to our main topic of discussion. Our 3 Tarantino films.
That was
that
a
we're
good
gonna watch.
movie. Phineas and Ferb, the second I mentioned.
I remember liking that a lot. Yeah. I like all the songs in it.
It's really nice looking, isn't it?
Looking, the animation's alright now.
Can we move on? This boring shit.
Also, the Wizard of Waverly Place, this movie.
Love that show.
I remember loving that. Yeah, that was like my favorite show.
I spent the whole week just watching live video and all those.
What was the song in it again? The opening song.
Everything is not what it seems when you can get all your problems in your wildest dreams.
Selena Gomez is so hot.
Fuck's sake.
She's in my dreams.
Which one? Which High School
Oh, your ma's calling you, Matthew. Oh, isn't this embarrassing?
Pardon me.
So, Karen, what's your favourite High School musical?
Just edit this out.
I like High School Musical too.
Same.
That's my favorite
That's my
one.
favourite as well.
Yeah. I think it has the best songs,
I think
especially
Zac
Bet On
Efron's
It.
is the
Remember
best
Bet
one.
On It?
What?
Bet On It, where he basically turns into Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3 and he wears a black suit.
Oh, what a movie.
I'm not gonna stop.
Great
Not gonna stop
movie.
till I get my shot. That's who I am, is my plan. Rolling up on top.
Great
You
movie,
can't
bitch.
Bet on it, bet on it, bet on it. It's Bet on it, bet on it, bet on it, bet on it, me. Let's talk about Reservoir Dogs. Tarantino.
Let's go.
Are you R2D2 now? Let's talk about Reservoir Dogs. Tarantino's first and one of his best movies in a lot of people's opinion. This blew
Look, it's
people's
gonna get
minds when it
triggered
came
here,
out, bro.
I think it's a great movie. I don't think I'm into as many other people are, but I can.
I adore it. This is like
It's a beautiful movie.
of the 3 Tarantino films I've seen so far. This is my second favorite.
What's
So
your favorite?
we'll get to that one soon. won't we?
Ooh, cliffhanger. Find out next time.
Yeah. So end of the podcast now. No, I have a little plot synopsis if you want to go through it, and then we'll.
Yeah, let's go.
This is the only one I didn't really watch this week. So.
Wow. I didn't watch Pulp Fiction this week.
You're a loser.
8 men. So there's the breakfast scene at the very start, and you have Steve Buscemi, Mr. Pink, and he's
I'm not
talking about
tipping.
why he
I'm not
doesn't
tipping.
tip, and it's fucking great.
It's great.
It's
Yeah,
just
It's also Quentin Tarantino going through like a virgin as well.
yeah, it is.
He's what?
He's talking about what the meaning of like a virgin by Madonna is, and it's basically like she's getting fucked by a dick that's so big it hurts, and it makes her feel like she's a virgin having sex for the first time.
Cool.
For his first movie, he's very talky in his cameo. He's a good few lines on this one.
He's a genius.
And he's in 2 scenes as well. He's in it later when you see him die.
What am I?
Spoiler.
Well, yeah. Jeez.
Spoiler!
But he really, I don't know. Like, he has a big part in. Is he in Kill Bill?
Not in the first one, no.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if he's in the second one.
Yeah,
No, he's not.
He's in Pulp Fiction a lot.
He says the N word like 8 times.
Yeah, he loves that. Jeez. The amount of N-bombs in this is
Oh yeah.
fucking surprised me. Watching it again this week. Yeah, they all have their names. They're all like Mr. Blonde,
Mr.
Mr.
Orange,
Blue,
Mr. Blonde, Mr. Orange, Mr. Orange, Mr. Orange, and Mr. Orange.
Mr. Brown, Mr. Pink, and Mr. White. And then we cut to we get a little what's the 70s station called? Sounds of the
K-Billy's.
70s.
K-Billy Sounds of the 70s.
Yeah. We go to that and we hear Little Green Bag, which is such a good song, and they all walk down the street together, and it's amazing. It's such a good opening title sequence. The only bit I don't like is that the name Reservoir Dogs slowly rises up on the screen. Looks
it's
fucking dumb.
Little Green Bag.
And of course, they close up on everyone and give them like their name or whatever, and of course Quentin gets one as well, because he's in it for like 2 minutes.
I don't mind it.
Bastard. Oh fuck! Spill water in my eye. After the heist, we cut to Mr. Orange and Mr. White in the car. Mr. Orange covered in fucking blood.
Great scene.
It's such a good scene.
Tim Roth is. Ooh, come on.
He's really good in this.
He's
Everyone's
hot.
really good in this.
He's more in it.
Good. He's good in this. Everyone's great in this. He's just screaming.
And he says, Larry, I'm gonna die, Larry. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Oh,
You gotta be okay. You gotta be okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's like singing it. It's so weird, but it's so good. It's so tense. Oh, and just cut like straight after a scene where they're just discussing why you shouldn't tip people.
It's like the first bit is kind of like interlude prelogue.
Yeah.
And this is like the
It's really
opening
disconnected
scene,
from the
and
rest of it.
Brilliant.
What I love about Tarantino's dialogue is that, like, it flows, and it actually sounds like conversation you'd have with a person. It doesn't sound too forced.
People
like,
stumble over their words and lose train of thought and shit.
Yeah, like that's normal. That's what
Like
happens.
in the opening scene, there's like 3 different conversations happening.
Yeah.
They're constantly intercutting. It's great.
It's great. Oh, jinx.
It's one of his.
Can you not splash yourself with water?
No, shut up. It's one of the strongest things, especially in Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. It's just the way people talk. It's just incredible. They get to like this big old warehouse. Orange gets put on the ground.
Yeah, it's
Mr.
the meeting
White.
point for after the heist.
Yes.
That's where they're all meant to be.
And Mr. White's just there like he's just trying to calm it down. He's being like, "Hey, getting shot in the stomach. It hurts a lot, but you'll probably die. It takes days to die from a bullet wound there." Which
Mr. Pink comes in, Steve Buscemi, and they just start.
yeah,
Mr.
Mr. Pink probably the highlight of this.
Oh,
movie.
he's brilliant.
I didn't realise last night that Steve Buscemi's has like a little cameo in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a waiter, isn't he?
Yeah. Is he a writer?
Yeah, he is.
They're in Jack Rabbits and Bugs Up.
When Sam Jackson and Joe Travolta were wearing like these awful clothes with the short shorts.
Hey man, they look stylish. What are you talking about?
You fancy them,
Yeah, no, I'd fuck Samuel L. Jackson. He's 70.
He hasn't aged in like 30 years,
I
man.
know,
It's
it's
ridiculous. He literally looks like if you just shaved his head in Pulp Fiction, if he didn't have that afro, he literally looked like Nick Fury. Like he doesn't look any other.
You could just say he looked like himself. You don't have to. Mace Windu. He looked like Mace Windu.
Pardon me, whoever that is. Right, but then
Fake fan.
everybody starts coming into the warehouse. Then Mr. Blonde comes in, and him and Mr. White are like at each other's necks already.
Yes.
It's really good.
And it's great because apparently Mr. Blonde started firing off shots and killing people.
Mm.
And the police immediately came in the second that started, and that's why Mr. Pink thinks that there was a rat. The rat-like element of the plot comes in.
Mr. Blonde is. Which one is he again?
He's a sociopath.
Oh, he's the insane person.
He's the
Michael
Megan,
Madsen.
wasn't he?
He's the clown to the left of me. Yeah, Tony Vega. We got our first little cut. Did we get our first cut back? Which is the first flashback to like before? Is it Mr. White or Mr. Blonde?
I think it's Mr. Pink.
It is Mr. Pink. We see how he escaped, and
How
it's
he
great.
escaped the
Yeah,
police when he's sprinting away.
he has a great sprint, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What a guy.
But
Ugly
what's he
person.
call it? Yeah, I'd say like Mr. White is a psychopath, and then Mr. Blonde is a sociopath. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't really psychoanalyze him like that.
Well, if you think about it, Mr. White is like he's fully aware of the difference between right and wrong, but he'll do anything it takes, no matter how inhumane it is, to get what he wants for the better of the team or for the better of himself. Whereas
Mr. White.
Yeah, Mr. White, and then
No, he
Yes.
stands up for Mr. Orange in the end.
Yeah.
He has a gun pointed towards his face to
Yeah,
save
I know,
someone
but
else.
he's for the better of the team. He goes over to a cop car with 2 pistols and just absolutely rips them apart. Remember? He's willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. You know?
How does that make him a sociopath, though?
No, that's a psychopath.
With
He's a
his
psycho.
job.
And
He's
Mr.
like-
Blonde is a sociopath because he's just insane and he enjoys killing cops and he enjoys torture and all that
Well,
shit.
yeah, obviously Mr. Blonde is insane, but it doesn't seem like anyone else is, like, lost their mind. They all seem to at least have a train of thought that makes logical sense to just a normal person. No one else seems to, like, be insane.
Well, I think it's led to believe that when Mr. Blonde was in prison that he just lost it. I think that you're led to believe that he just, what do you call it? He just snapped when he was in prison. And
Maybe.
He's just a fucking psycho.
It would make sense. It wouldn't be insane. The one thing I don't like in this movie is like his flashback, the Mr. Blonde one, where they kind of explain like where he had gone.
That's kind of boring.
Yeah, and he wrestles the guy. What's his name? In the tracksuit the whole time.
The fat guy?
Yeah, the fat blonde guy. He
Eddie.
wrestles him to the ground. Eddie, that's it. He wrestles him to the ground, and it's so weird.
Yeah, it's just like playful wrestling.
Yeah,
It's a pretty shit scene.
it's not a shit scene. It's just like
It's just
what
boring.
is
Like,
this?
it doesn't like progress the plot really. It's just saying.
It's to give you the information so that when Mr. Orange makes up his backstory, Eddie can be like, "Well, hang on a second. This guy went to jail for 4 years and didn't rat us out." So it tells you that, so you know it later. But it's very much like I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. It's a weird scene. It's weirdly done, and that's the only part of this movie I'm not overly in love with, to be perfectly honest, because I love this. Mr. Blonde, he reveals that he has brought a hostage cop into in his fucking trunk, and it is so good. They like drag him in, they beat the shit out of him, they hang him up. They're like asking who the rat is, and the cop's just like, I don't know, man. I got a family and all that shit. And then Eddie comes in, and Eddie just berates him. He's just calling him a fucking idiot the whole time. Because he's like, well, now he knows where you are, and you've beaten the shit out of the cop. You guys are idiots.
Then Mr. Pink is just like, I swear we were set up, and he's like, there is no fucking rat! He's just...
Yeah, Eddie does not buy it at all.
Yeah.
Nice guy, Eddie.
I don't get it.
And then they all
When
leave.
does he say that?
Then they all leave, and we get the best scene in the movie with Mr. Blonde turning on Stuck in the Middle with You.
Yes, they leave to get the diamonds.
Fucking brilliant.
It's just this horrible 4-minute scene where he just cuts off his ear and he's screaming in pain, and Mr. Blonde is just like, I don't give a shit if you know anything. I'm gonna kill
He
you.
has his ear in his hand. Doesn't he lick it or something?
He speaks into it. He's like, hello, can you hear me? It's
He's a
great.
fucking psycho.
It's just because the whole scene's so well directed, because he puts on the song, walks out, gets the tools, builds up the suspense, and then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. And as he walks out, the song disappears, and then come back.
That's so well done.
Comes back in.
Then he's about to light him on fire, and then out
Yeah.
of nowhere, Mr. Orange
Reveals he's the rat. Shoots him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a cop. he's a great voice, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like, and the cop's like, we met before at the station.
Yeah. So he didn't give him up, which I liked a lot. And there's this great bit where he's just like, the cops are a block away, waiting for, is it Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, waiting for Joe. And you have the actual cop who's like been tortured or whatever. He's sitting there like, whoa, why the fuck aren't they coming? I'm fucking deformed. And just Mr. Orange just screams back at him.
Don't fuck with me, I'm shot in the stomach, bleeding out here.
I'm dying. It's so good. And then we get Mr. Orange's flashback, and we just see
That's good.
Yeah,
that
it's
whole
great.
thing is really good.
just seeing how he's prepared for this role.
Yeah, and he kind of like delves too much into the role that he becomes one of them basically, because when they flash back, he kind of turns into a criminal, because when they're trying to take the car off the woman, she shoots him, and then he just murders an innocent woman trying to defend herself. He's basically one of them then, you know?
No, I think he's just...
That's what Tarantino said.
Yeah?
He was like, he's probably the villain of the movie, he was saying. Tarantino said in an interview before, he said he's probably the villain, and he was like, there's no characters who are too villainous or too good.
What about Mr. Blonde?
Yeah, he said there's no flat out villains in this movie. He was like,
But what about Mr. Blonde?
I know. That's what he was saying. Like, I was looking at interviews
Alright,
earlier.
well then he failed in that aspect because Mr. Blonde is clearly like irredeemable and evil.
Stuck in the middle.
Stuck in the middle. He has great music taste. You know what? He's a good person.
All his movies have great. At least one great song. In it.
Most of multiple.
Every song in this, like Stuck in the Middle with You, Little Grey Bag and Coconut, they're such good songs.
There's a lot more than that though. Like fucking Hooked on a Feeling is played for like 10 seconds and it's great. By Blue Suede.
Oh my god, the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy. It's all connected, man.
Guardians.
What?
Right, so then after this,
Jeez.
we come back out of the flashback, and then...
Oh, we see Mr. Orange like telling his joke and like learning it off.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
The whole montage of him like learning every line and becoming a gangster, it's so good. And then repeating it to Joe, Mr. White, and all that, and Eddie. It's brilliant.
Oh, it's... What a great movie, man.
Okay, and then after that we cut
you.
back, and everybody comes back, and they see that Mr. Orange like killed thing, and then he's like talking shit, going like, "He was gonna set him on fire. I had to kill him.
He was gonna kill you all as well." He starts saying Blonde's gonna betray everyone, which of course Eddie's like, he spent 4 years in jail.
He's
He didn't run
"You
it
think
out.
out of nowhere he's gonna want to fucking kill us now?" It's really good.
It's fucking great, man.
That whole scene where they're all pointing guns at each other, it's so good.
That is so tense. The little Mexican standoff,
It's like
because
something
all
you'd
of a
see-
sudden
yeah,
people
it's
start
like
believing
something
that
you'd see in
Mr.
a
Orange
Western or
is the rat.
something. It's really good.
And Mr. White, you just feel so bad for him at that extent.
Yeah,
Because he seems like a genuinely nice guy. He has the worst thing he's done is say the N-word, and he's never
like, he's killed so many people.
That's true. He's
the
killed
worst
cops.
thing he's done is say the N-word.
But the only truly evil thing he's done, he's never. I don't know. It's you just feel bad for him because you like him.
He has morals, but he decides to go against it to benefit himself.
You just feel so fucking bad for him.
You do. You feel bad because he was defending this guy with his life, and he knew. He was saying, "I know he's not the rat. I know it," and then he had to kill his friends.
Yeah.
To save him. It kind of makes you think, why
everyone goes down, everyone gets shot, and then there's this great shot of just Mr. White on his knees, Mr. Orange like barely
Mr.
breathing,
doesn't.
Joe and Eddie on the ground dead, and all of a sudden, just from like the little ramp up the stairs, Mr. Pink crawls out, takes the briefcase,
He's the
and
one who
just
killed
walks
Eddie.
out. Is he?
Yeah. And then he sprints out, and you hear the police, and you're led to believe he was shot dead as well. Or arrested.
He already escaped police earlier in the day, so it's not impossible that he got away.
And no, it isn't, because literally he walks out the door and the police come in the door.
No, he
was. See, and they're like, "What the gun now? What the gun now?" And then it's just Harvey Keitel holding Tim Roth's head.
There's enough distance in there. There's enough time before you start hearing them like scream at him that you can be like, oh, maybe.
Oh yeah, because they're talking to each other and they're like, "I'm sorry, Larry, I'm a cop."
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That means that he's basically one of them now.
Yeah.
You know? He becomes a gangster in the end. That he delves into the role so much. And
I think it's just more like he genuinely likes Mr. White and he knows he's gonna die anyway. I never got that he went that far into the role.
Yeah, he did. He went so far into the role that he became one.
I never really got that, to be perfectly honest.
Do you not? Because it shows him learning off
that's what an undercover cop does.
And then it basically becomes second nature to him, and then he
That's
starts acting like them. He kills innocent people.
He kills the woman who shot him. That's self-defense. And he clearly feels bad about it as well. It cuts to him and he's like, oh shit.
A gangster as well.
Because what was he supposed to do at that point?
Yeah, he's an undercover cop. He couldn't just be like, whoa, I'm a cop! Like in front of Mr. White. You know?
Still, he killed an innocent person. He could have hit her on the head with the gun or whatever.
She had a gun though as well, can you say?
Yeah,
I know.
She shot him, he's on the ground, and then he shoots back.
Yeah. Wasn't
Whatever, guys. You have your own opinion. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But then it's just the screen just starts to go black, and then you just led to believe he killed Tim Roth and the police killed Mr. White.
You're not led to believe it. It's straight up shown. The camera pans up just so you see Mr. White's face.
And then
You hear the police come in. They're screaming at him to put the gun down, and you hear a gunshot, and then Mr. White gets shot.
And then he just falls back, and then coconut comes on. It's like,
Yeah.
That's such a good song. I don't know why
and
it's
it's
such
a
good
great
song
metaphor for the
credits.
film and the way where it starts off slow, but by the end it's just chaotic as shit.
How do you mean it?
The song, relatively calm at the beginning, is a bit messy, and then just as it goes on, it builds and builds, and the end, it's just like screaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You put the line in the cookie.
Which is a great song.
But yeah, I love this, man. I love this movie.
Amazing movie.
I love the small scale of it as well. That it's
Nearly
not
all
like-
of it is set in that warehouse.
Yeah,
That's great.
I love that. I love the way it's not like it's all of Los Angeles or wherever it is. Is it Los Angeles? I think so.
Um,
And yeah, and it's just that warehouse. It's so good. Oh man, it's great. I love it.
It's a fantastic film. I loved it so
I'll
much.
watch it
when I first
again.
saw
I
it.
think it's cool because you're literally watching Tarantino like be born, if that makes any sense. His film career
Yeah.
birthing. And I love for that
He
bit.
comes out of the womb, and then
He
He's a
slides out of the womb. He's
And-
slipping and sliding down.
at the moment in his ninth film, he's making 11, so he's in his 60s at the moment.
He's making 10.
You know, is it not 11?
No, it's 10.
Because
I
he
thought it was
counts
a-
Kill Bill as 2. I mean, as 1, sir. What a bitch.
That's a massive rip.
So
Wait, we
he
leave that
said
for last.
but he said he's gonna direct the Star Trek movie, and he said he's also gonna do Kill Bill 3.
You don't know. You don't.
He won't. He won't retire, man. He's not gonna.
It's only something to be saying that he's gonna be doing 10 movies, but I think like it's really up to him when he wants to retire.
No, it's
can
not.
we leave Pulp Fiction till last?
Do we have to? Okay.
Do you want to leave Pulp Fiction till
I
last?
don't mind.
It's the best one, like. You know. It
Okay.
is the best one. You know.
No, we'll do Pulp Fiction now. I have a little summary here.
Okay.
I
we
didn't
have to
see
do
this
appearances,
week.
I suppose.
Yeah, we do.
We're alright. Runners or
Oh yeah.
Oh, these are all masterpieces, though.
I give Reservoir Dogs a 8.5.
I guess it's not a masterpiece.
That is. What do you mean? You're the one who
8.5
said
is-
last week. What did you say last week about scores?
8.5 is like great.
It is great. It's not a masterpiece. It's great. It's so good. Like, but I wouldn't say it's a fucking masterpiece like Pulp Fiction. You know.
same.
But let's not say anything about it yet. We have to talk about it first.
I don't know where I just like.
Or Lord of the Rings, man. Lord of the Rings. They're masterpieces. Spider-Man, Raimi trilogy.
As far as I'm concerned, every movie we're going to talk about today is like a 10.
They're all great. I don't think there's no question about
Yeah.
any movies. It's not great. I think just personal preference at one point.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like I
I
only
think
usually
it's
have
great,
one
but-
gripe with Pulp Fiction. You know. But
I
talk
don't
about
think
it.
the beginning... We'll talk about that now, I guess.
So, Pulp Fiction came out 1994, 2 years after Reservoir Dogs.
And blew people's minds. This
Yes.
really cemented Tarantino as just like
Mm.
the...
He won Best
Filmmaker,
Screenplay
you know.
in the Oscars
Well,
for this.
You're just holding it weird.
why not?
I don't know.
It won the Palme d'Or at Cannes that year as well.
Well, he won an Oscar. That's all that matters, man. Who cares about the other ones? You win an Oscar. Jesus.
Sure, people would argue against that, but sure.
Which Oscar
I'd
did
say
it
it's
win?
just the most important. The Oscars, the Golden Globes, and that's it, really.
I don't really care for the Golden Globes.
No one gives a shit about the Golden Globes.
See what I mean? Nobody cares about anything but the Oscars. If you win an Oscar, you're a legend, basically. You know.
Crash.
That wasn't our decision.
Ugh.
Michael Pena in that movie is just.
When his daughter gets shot and he drops to his knees and cries. That's so good.
Do you remember watching that in English?
Oh,
last
she
year?
doesn't
Yeah.
die though, doesn't she?
So funny. I don't fucking know.
I don't
Shit
know.
movies. Remember when Tandy Newton sucks Don Cheadle's dick in the car?
Fuck
I
Don
don't remember
Cheadle.
this movie
It's
at all.
not Don Cheadle.
It is.
It's the other roadie.
It's the other War Machine. It's the other
It's the other
one.
roadie.
I'm as racist as the guy who said that like the reason they'd recast him is because no one would notice.
Did you see that?
Wait, is it not
There's-
Don Cheadle
there's-
in that movie?
No,
he
but
is,
it's not,
he
he's in that.
bangs Jennifer Esposito. In it.
Ah.
He's not the one
I
who
don't know
gets
how he
his
did
dick
that.
sucked.
She's unreal.
I got my War Machines mixed up.
But I saw a meme earlier and I was like, do you
How
know,
dare you?
it's like in Endgame and it's like Nebula going like, I wasn't always like this. And then Don Cheadle just goes like, neither was I. And then it's just him, and then it's fucking Terrence Howard. Let's get us. 35.
Also, there's a cup mark on this that Matthew gave me. So it means he put a cup on it. Bastard.
Sorry, man. I can't remember. I haven't watched them in ages. But anyway, so Pulp Fiction has...
Pulp Fiction, so at the very beginning.
Okay.
Did you select that?
You just cut me off, piece of shit!
Are you doing a plot summary or are you just discussing in general? Because I was going to read the plot summary.
Do the plot summary there.
Well, let's just... You can do the plot summary, but I'm just going to talk about it first.
Sure, sure.
So, right, so Pulp Fiction came out 2 years after Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
Tarantino won Best Screenplay for it in the Oscars. Has
fair.
John Travolta, Sam Jackson...
John Travolta wears a wig now, doesn't he? And he's a Scientologist. And he might be gay as well.
Yeah, apparently...
What a troubled man.
Yeah, apparently Scientology won't let him go because they're holding that against him.
He wants
There's
to-
information that he's been with...
They won't let him go. I don't think Scientology...
No,
lets
they
anyone go.
literally... It's the
He
same
wants
with
to
Tom
leave,
Cruise.
but
He'll
he
never be allowed to leave there. You know?
I don't think any Scientologist ever wants to leave. I think that's the main problem with it.
No, John Travolta wants to get out of that, apparently.
One
He-
was years ago, like, yeah, I think he had, like, a child with, like, a disability, and they, like, were very against it.
I
So,
see.
like, he just can't see. I don't think he's
Yeah.
see the child anymore or anything like that.
Oh,
But he
my.
just can't leave.
Yeah, because they're holding that against him. They'll
That
just
is sad.
release that saying, right, you've been with blokes, so...
Oh, well. Hopefully
You
you
know, I
can...
think in modern day
Alright.
that it's absolutely fine to come out, that he'd just be like, alright, I'm bi, I like men and women, and he'd be accepted, so I don't know
For
why
some
he's
people it's a
shitting
big
so-
deal. It's up to him.
Yeah, I know, but like, he's a huge star, like people, he wouldn't get hate for it at all.
Caitlyn Jenner got hate coming out as trans. Still does.
That's completely different though, he's just...
I know it's different, but like, it's, just because you're famous, it won't protect you from anything, you know? Especially if you're famous, you'll get more ridicule than anyone else, really.
Like, look at, what's his name? In How I Met Your Mother, what's his name?
Yeah, but
Josh
yeah.
Season.
Neil Patrick Harris, yeah. He
Oh,
came
he's
out
great,
as
though.
gay, nobody cared.
Yeah, but that wasn't a surprise, though, was it? Like,
Right.
obviously, if you think Barney's a real person, then you're like, how can he be gay? But if you've ever seen an interview with him, you will set him off.
Remember that in Pulp Fiction?
Ah, yes.
A man of great pit. You fucking... No!
Right, so...
Hey!
Yeah.
No!
Okay.
You did this.
Hey, no!
I did this? How?
Hey, no!
Your presence has ridiculed...
Oh, I'll get my talking to.
You can hear him growl.
Hey! Hey, here, listen, you punk.
That's right, big.
He just wants a cuddle.
He does.
Say.
What? Oh, I want a girl too. We're cutting all this out, by the way.
No, we're not.
We are!
Yes, we are here.
People love it. People love when we go behind the scenes like this.
Right, so... Yeah, so it has John Travolta, Sam Jackson,
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Uma Thurman.
I'm gonna go deal with my dog as well.
Oh, she looks unreal in the movie. Oh my god. She's
Very good, Matt.
She was only 24 when that came out. Oh my god.
You like him, don't you?
What? Yeah, but... Alright, so we'll cut this out. Because, yeah. He's an idiot, isn't he? Motherfucker. Hey, yeah. What is happening with your head? You look so divine. Come and get your...
Matthew's taking a selfie of himself right now. Just for he's taking his tool.
I'm doing what Kieran...
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Bring him
What are you
in.
doing?
What?
What are you doing?
He's taking such. He's a.
What? Fergal did?
You're going to come to cut all this out here. Let him in. Is that a beanbag?
It is.
Can I sit on it?
No.
Why not?
You pop it.
I'm gonna sit on it now.
Bring it closer to the mic.
Right, we have to cut this all out now. Right, so this came out and it was a masterpiece, my friends.
Yes, revered as a masterpiece. To this day, it
really does hold up, like, it really does.
Fantastically. All of Tarantino's stuff does that.
It's probably my favourite film of all time. That and La La Land.
It's my third favourite Tarantino film, and I've only seen 3, so... Oh, Matthew's Maz
Hello?
calling him.
Hi. Well, I'm gonna be earlier than that because I'm going to the gym.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know. I don't know. What time will we be doing it? 4:30?
4:20 now.
Oh, is it? Right. Right, so...
You don't have to go to the gym.
What will I do?
Okay, I'll avoid.
Oh, alright. Bye. Put that in. So
Pulp Fiction came out in 1994.
let's go through it all again. Right, came out in 1994. Nah, this movie's great, man. Great.
My third favourite Tarantino film of the 3 others.
Third?
Yeah.
What's 2 and 1?
As in, 2 is Reservoir Dogs, and 1 right now, I think,
Is
Kill
Death
Bill.
Proof.
What?
Death Proof, yeah.
Really?
Definitely.
Volume 1?
Yeah, I know. I don't know, like this is, again, as we said earlier, this is me distinguishing between 3 masterpieces. You know? It's like picking your favourite of the prequels. They're all equally amazing, you know?
And the Raimi trilogy, they're all
The
equally
Star Wars
amazing.
prequels.
The Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Raimi trilogy.
I thought you meant the Hobbit trilogy.
Well, that as well. That is also, like, equally great. It's up there in the all time. But no, it's like distinguishing between your
Right,
favourite of
do
the
a
original
plot
3
summary,
Star Wars.
hurry.
You can't do it.
Do a process.
We open with Tim Roth, don't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
Tim
Yes.
Roth and his wife or girlfriend. Honey
Yeah.
Bunny.
It's
Pumpkin and
funny.
Honey Bunny.
And what are they doing? I haven't seen this in like a year.
Right, so they're basically talking. Tim Roth is talking about like why it's stupid that people don't rob restaurants and like people always rob banks and all that. And what's wrong with robbing restaurants? Like, and then they're basically talking about that because they're both it's just mental. And then they just go like, oh yeah, let's rob this restaurant right now that they're sitting in. And then Tim Roth just comes up and goes like, all right, this is a robbery. And then
Does he have that accent?
It kind of
Yeah, he does.
He does.
He does have a British accent in it. And then she
Right.
has, what
Fair
does she say?
It's like, oh, you motherfuckers, get down!
If you move, I'm gonna kill you, motherfuckers. Oh, that's great.
Then we get a little title sequence, right? I assume, yeah, of the Pulp Fiction. What song plays? I'm assuming it's a song.
Miserloo. Plays at the start, isn't it?
Yeah, what's
Miserloo.
it called like again?
Ha!
Oh.
Ha! Let's have a little sample here.
No, we will get copyright strike.
The film actually opens up with definition of pulp.
Yeah, what? I don't get that. What? I don't get the title of the film.
Pulp Fiction. I think it's a reference to like I think it was like I was looking at it's like magazines about crime and all that, and it was called Pulp. So Pulp Fiction because it's literally a crime movie about crime.
I think he just thought they were 2 funny sounding words and he put them together.
Oh, you're funny, aren't you?
You know, this sounds like it'll go down in the books. Let's just make it.
Just like Spider-Man. Like, what does that have to do with Spider-Man at all? You know? It has nothing to do with the character. So yeah, and then we go to the Hitmen, Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega.
This scene is brilliant. The dialogue
It is
just
so funny.
brilliant. It's so good. Like, it's so natural, the dialogue. It just feels so natural.
They're going to an apartment to retrieve a briefcase for the gangster Marcellus Wallace, from a guy called Brett, I believe.
And we never see what's in the suitcase.
Look
They open it
brains
up.
on Brad here.
They just open up
Yeah, I'm
the
definitely not
suitcase and
reading.
then it's just gold light coming out of it. I don't know what that's meant to be.
It's no one knows. I think basically it was like a light in a suitcase.
Just something valuable, basically.
People think it was like Marcel Wallace's soul in there or something like that.
Which is, like, interesting. Probably not true, though. It's the diamonds from Pulp Fiction. Not Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs.
See, it's kind of hard to remember what exactly happens in this movie because it's so non-linear. It like jumps to different places constantly, and it's
so
kind of
weird.
hard to remember how the story goes from start to finish.
Like, Vincent dies and then he's in the next half an hour of the film.
Yeah.
It's so fucking crazy.
It was great.
Do you know what they call a Big Mac in, wasn't it Amsterdam?
No,
in
in
France,
Paris.
isn't it?
In
Yeah.
France,
A
Paris.
quarter pounder.
The
What do they call
Royale.
a quarter pounder in Paris?
El Royale.
A Royale with cheese.
And then the
Why do they
Simpsons
do that?
parody of this episode is
Because-
fucking amazing.
Why did they do that? Probably because of the metric system.
The metric system. Where he's like, it's about Krusty Burgers. It's funny. Watch 20. I think it's 22 Tales in Springfield.
Is it hot in here? I better take off my sweater. Down with homework. Remember that?
No,
I sent you that clip yesterday.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, what? So good. Watch it right now.
Oh man.
No, I don't know why I started talking about The Simpsons there, but
Because there's a parody of Pulp Fiction in The Simpsons.
okay,
It's
cool.
fucking amazing.
But then basically, two hitmen, Sam Jackson and John Travolta, are getting ready to like kill some guy because he's obviously he done Marcellus Wallace wrong. He like crossed him, and basically they're there to kill him, and they're like,
Oh yeah. Brad.
"Oh, it's brilliant."
Butcher Brad.
That scene is so tense because, and then Sam Jackson does his Bible speech, Ezekiel 25:17. Oh, it's so good. He's like, "Can I have a taste of this sandwich, please?" Oh, it's great.
Big Kahuna Burger.
And he like, I love the way
Yes.
Sam Jackson, he takes his job really seriously, and like he's a real professional down it. And John Travolta just like takes the piss and all in his job. Like he is professional, but he's always just messing around. It's great.
He's like Tony Stark, you know.
Everyone's Tony Stark. Anyone with charisma in a movie is
Tony Stark is the worst film character in history.
He's
Right.
like bottom 3, I'd say.
Yeah.
Why
Him-
do you want
Him,
to movie?
Snape, and
Snape.
He's so charismatic.
Sam.
who else?
Sam from.
Sam Smith in our class. He's a great film character.
I was gonna say Sam from Lord of the Rings, but alright.
I was just gonna say Homer from the Simpsons movie.
From the Simpsons movie, not the show.
Do you know they're making a sequel to that?
Yeah.
They're planning on it. They don't know if it's
Awful.
gonna happen.
Um,
It could be great.
well, The Simpsons hasn't been good in 20 years.
Yeah,
or
but
so.
the Simpsons was shit when the first Simpsons movie came out. So, it could be great.
And
They
that's
brought
not
back
the
a
best.
load of the old writers to write the film, so maybe it'll be good this time. Maybe they'll
Conan
bring it back.
O'Brien?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the reason that one show down fell.
Yeah, he's
When he
quite
left.
beautiful.
Yeah. He left
probably.
after season 10, and then it just went like...
It went downhill in season 8. The day the Simpsons died is Prince and the Pauper, right?
No, it isn't.
The
They
principal
say
of
that the downfall of The Simpsons started from the Armin Tamzarian episode.
The
Where,
Principal and the Pauper. The one I just mentioned in season 8.
I have no idea what we're talking.
yeah, how was I supposed to know the title of the episode? But anyway, why are we talking about this? Back to Pulp Fiction. He looked like Ralph the Movie Maker when he did that there. So, right, back to Pulp Fiction. So, they're talking to this guy, and they're just-
to know the news?
they're taking the piss out of him, and then Sam Jackson does his little epic speech about
It's
from the,
so
the
epic.
Bible
It's
reference,
so epic.
and then they
bro.
he goes like, what is it? He goes like, and I will bring my wrath down upon them, and then he just points the gun at him, and him and John Travolta just like pop caps on him like fucking so many
I
times.
never heard you say that.
Popping cup and cap, brother.
They shoot him so many times. It's great,
Yeah.
and then they just they leave.
But then they cut and you see them in different.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
later on. Let's
yeah.
go see if we can go.
No, but they cut to them walking into the nightclub to meet Marcel Wallace.
Yeah.
But we have no idea what has just happened.
Yeah, which is so good because that keeps you wondering, and that'll get you want to watch it more to see what happened. It's so well done.
Jeez. Vincent. The next day, Vincent purchases heroin. He purchases heroin. Yeah, I'm just gonna go purchase some
Why do
heroin.
we not see Marcellus Wallace's face until like his
Yes,
last
you-
bit in the movie? That's cool.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. You just see the back of his head the whole time. Oh yeah, but we missed the part where Bruce Willis is introduced. Bruce Willis plays a character called Butch, and he's like a boxer coming towards the end of his career, kinda.
Oui.
And he makes a deal with Marcellus Wallace to like go down in round 5 against a certain fighter, and he'll give him a shitload of money. And he pays him in advance, like what an idiot. And then
Yeah, what a dumb.
And then
Dumbass
him and John
that
Travolta
was.
cross, and John Travolta's just a prick to Butch for no reason. And then John Travolta walks over to Marcellus Wallace, and then Butch is just looking back at him like that. Like for like 30 seconds.
Bruce
Just,
Willis is really good in this
he
movie.
really is. He's so bland, he's good. Like his character is just so like casual, but it's so well done.
Remember, you know what my favorite Christmas movie is, guys? You'll never guess.
Die Hard!
Die Hard.
Such a
I
bad
love
movie.
Christmas Carol.
Muppets Christmas Carol. Oh.
The Santa Claus. Tim Allen, you know. That's so. Oh no! We triggered the dog again.
He just hears the Tim Allen grunt.
Yeah, because that's in that movie, isn't it? Shaggy Dog.
This is gonna be so shit. He's just cutting in and out. You just hear root and then cuts.
It's not any cuts. What do you mean?
But then we.
No, you're up to cut some of this.
Oh yeah, and then we cut to what happens. We cut to John Travolta the next day, or sorry, Vince Vega. We better just call them by their characters. We cut to Vince Vega, purchasing some heroin off a dealer.
He shoots up, bro. Then he drives to meet Marcellus Wallace's wife, Mia,
Uma
played
Thurman.
by Uma Thurman, who he's basically just escorting her places while Marcellus is out of town.
But he wants to fuck her, but he can't.
Yeah, he does the meme where he's like looking around. He's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because he's so fucked up.
Then
It's so great.
he's just looking around. He's like, and she's like, over here. Hello.
They go to like a 50s themed restaurant.
Yeah.
They have a twist contest. And have you ever seen Tarantino explain the way he told them to move?
It's so dope because like John Travolta at that time, he's really big for Grease and Saturday Night
He was
Fever.
in the height of his career.
Two very dance-centric movies. And it's just have this sequence Tarantino telling John Travolta how to dance.
And it's so good. They have these.
Did you just order a $5 shake? I want to taste what a $5 shake tastes like.
Like that whole scene in Johnny Robbins is
So well done.
one of my favourite scene in any movie.
I can't believe, like it should sound may be easy to write casual dialogue, but it's really isn't. Like if you just look at that scene where they're just sitting at the table talking to each other, it's just so casual. It's so well done.
Because he's fucked up on heroin.
Yeah.
And she's fucked up on cocaine.
It's hard to write casual stuff.
And then
What
they do
the
the.
What do people stand like?
Yeah,
what
I
do
know.
other people say? You know?
Like you talk and you're like, oh, this is the way I sound, and it's so like I know how to talk in a conversation, but when you're writing it, it's just so hard to like.
So like this is such a you think none of this should work like a fucking anything.
It
It's
shouldn't.
just so down to earth. You feel for these
Yeah.
characters, and he's like, but like in the end, it's a fucking hitman and
Great.
a kingpin's girlfriend.
Vince goes to the bathroom and Mia finds his heroin. Mistakes it for.
No, what are you doing? We're skipping bits.
Am I?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
And then she's like flirting with him the whole night, they both know they can't.
It gave
like,
Matthew a big stiffy. I know that.
Cool. They both know they can't because if they do, they're fucking dead. But then they get up and they do the dance contest, and that's like, arguably one of the best scenes in the movie. It's so good. Like, because he's just whacked out of his gourd on heroin, and then he's just like that.
He's whacked out of his gourd.
And he's just like that. Like, it's so good.
I love these visual jokes on audio format.
She also talks about the point she calls Fox Force 5, and she even kind of like
Yeah.
foreshadows Kill Bill with all the characters.
I want to hear your Fox Force 5 joke. No, it's terrible. Just tell me your joke. Oh. Yeah, but then we go back. We go back to Marcellus Wallace's wife's house. Why are we calling her that? Her name is Mia Wallace. We go back to Mia Wallace's house, and basically she's flirting with John Travolta, and he goes into the bathroom, and she takes the madman heroin, and she's already taken cocaine, so she just ODs.
She thinks it's cocaine. And
Yeah.
snorts it.
She ODs, and then John Travolta's in the
It's
toilet.
the most tense
Yeah,
scene of your life.
that's one of the best scenes. And then she's just,
be a woman.
and then he's in the toilets. John Travolta's in the toilet, and he's going like, "All right, so you're just gonna go in there and say, okay, had a nice night, and I'm gonna go home, jerk off a little, and go to sleep." And then he goes and he's like, "Oh fuck me!" It's great. And then he drives her to the
Karen, go kill your dog.
I know. I'm sorry.
Drug dealer's house. And it's so well done. It keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time.
And he has to inject her, and you're fucking losing your mind as it
Yeah,
does
it's
it.
like, and then it zooms in on her chest where the mark is, and he's just like that. And then it zooms in on the needle, and he's just like that. And then he just goes like, oh! It's so good. It's so good.
It's insane.
It's
It is
really
like the most tense scene in the entire movie.
In any movie, full stop. Even more tense than
Right,
when
Please
Tony
don't.
Stark has
Please
to
don't.
sacrifice himself, you know?
I
take that back.
I bring in Tony Stark.
Yeah, remember when Thanos is about to snap and then Iron Man comes up and he's like, no! And then, no, stop, I don't want to talk about it, right?
Like, why didn't Iron Man just be like, how about I bring everyone back? How about like I kill all of Thanos' army and I make myself invincible? And then he stops. You know?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Why doesn't he just do that? You know?
That's a
it's
plot
pretty
hole.
stupid. It's pretty stupid. I gotta say.
Yeah, that's why the movie's like
It takes
a
me
2
out
hour
of the
two.
film. Why isn't he just like, oh, I bring everyone back, including my dad, and I stay alive, and then he gets to be with his dad and his mom, you know?
That's how movies work, Kieran, okay?
Yeah.
Structure story. Hope the voice,
Let me give you a lesson, Philip.
Why doesn't he just like?
Alright, shut up, we're talking about Pulp Fiction, bitch.
Why didn't he? I don't know. It's so stupid. It's such a stupid film. I'm hating him.
Alright, funny. Alright, so basically, Michael, you take over, I'm talking too much, you say what happens next. So after
Stop pissing me off.
after the OD scene.
I tried. Hang on, I have an idea. I'll close the blinds so you can't see it. Oh, fuck, I almost fell over.
Right, so after the
Oh,
OD
give me a little throw tap there. Like,
There's a fuck somebody right here. Why am I talking off head?
So, after the OD scene...
What happens after ODC?
We
Oh. Is it cuts the bush, doesn't it?
Does it cut the bush?
it would be the butch thing because that's good. He eats out his wife.
No, it
No, it's not
it
that.
cuts to
That's not in the
it cuts
DVD.
to Christopher Walken. It cuts to him
Ah,
as a
yeah,
child.
Walken.
The displaying the importance of the watch that's going down
For
through
fighters.
generations.
Yeah, the watch scene is great. He talks about it.
Well, doesn't he
He
kind of
does
keeps his
that.
like voice kind of low key. Christopher Walken does every now and again. He's like, and his watch.
and his watch. Oh, Christopher Walken's great.
He really is.
Remember? Have you guys seen the Jungle Book, the new one?
Yeah.
Plays the monkey and that, doesn't he? He's like, Ruby Doo, I want to be like you.
Right, so then, just don't mind what Kieran's talking about.
be like you.
Don't mind him. Right, so then after that we cut to, it's all meant to be like a dream, and Bush wakes up and he's like, all right, time to fight, and then
Shut the fuck, and then
then
he eats out his wife.
He kills the other fighter.
Jarvis.
He doesn't go around and he doesn't go down in round 5. He murders the other fighter, taking the money with him, and he gets in a taxi with some hot Colombian girl
Oh my gosh.
and drives off to his house, and then eats out his wife, as you said before.
Yeah. It's I just didn't. The one thing I don't love about this film is that bit there with all the Bruce Willis stuff before he then.
Bruce Willis.
That's not what I said.
It is.
So funny.
The Bruce Willis stuff before he meets up with Marcellus Wallace. I just didn't love that. You know,
I really liked it.
it's that the Mr. Blonde scene. They're the two reasons why I prefer Kill Bill. I think over these two.
I kind of like because like you see he's actually killing.
Why are you so edgy and controversial?
I'm literally like these are all 10 out of 10s. The only thing is they have one like 2-minute flaw each, and that's it.
Kill Bill 1 is like a 30-minute flaw.
We'll get on to that.
Yeah, we need to hurry it up a bit. So what happens? Right. So yeah, and then it cuts to the morning, and Bruce Willis loses his watch, and he starts throwing shit at his wife, throwing TVs at her and shit.
Abusive, borderline abusive stuff
Yeah.
going on.
And then he drives back to his apartment, and he gets his watch, goes into the kitchen, realizes the toaster's on,
Shoves it up his ass,
and he goes like,
as is tradition.
holy shit. And then he sees a silenced SMG over on the table, and he goes like, oh shit. And the toilet flushes, and out walks Vince Vega, and then he's just looking at him like that, and he knows he's dead, and he's like, oh shit. And then the toaster pops, and he just goes like, ah, just fucking
Kills Vince
pops
Vega.
so many caps into
Just
him.
fucking like out of nowhere. A
Yeah.
guy who was the main character
And
for
the
the
best
first like
character in the movie.
40 minutes of the movie, dead. It's fucking crazy.
It's so good. Taking no prisoners. And then from there, it just gets unbelievable. It's just insane after that. So Butch is trying to escape, and then Marcellus Wallace is just walking across the road when he's driving, and he has
Butch
donuts.
is like so happy. He's like,
Yeah.
I just killed Vince off.
Yeah, and he's just
I
there.
killed that prick. He was looking at me funny yesterday.
And then Marcellus Wallace just goes like, motherfucker, and he just drives over him.
He runs over. Oh, it's insane. They go on a big old chase, and it's great.
Yeah, and then it just gets so weird then.
It gets in. It
It
the movie loses its mind for like 10 minutes.
literally, just gets like, oh my god,
They chase inside a pawn shop.
literally,
They bore him just worrying then. But no, they fucking make a gimp. They bring in a gimp.
yeah, what is
The
That's
gimp.
meant to be their sex slave, is it? Basically.
Basically, yeah.
And then,
Chasing to a pawn shop. Owner points a shotgun at him, ties him up, brings him down to the basement.
then he knocks them out. Bruce Willis already knocked out
They take Marcellus into a different
and
room.
then he hits Bruce Willis in the nose with the other end of the gun and knocks him out. And then they tied him up. And then the sheriff comes down or something.
Butch saves Marcellus Wallace.
And they take Marcellus Wallace into the other room and they start raping him.
Yeah.
It just comes out of nowhere. It's so weird. 1 minute you're going, he's just ran over Marcellus Wallace. Next minute, he's getting raped by a man. It's so weird.
It's like
And
it's
then,
insanity.
and then we see Butch's greatest victory of all. He saves his enemy. It's so symbolic. It's beautiful.
How is it symbolic? How is that symbolic?
It's called bullshit talk though.
Bullshit talk.
He saves Marcellus Wallace.
It's called bullshit.
Like you can kind of think then he'd go like
Some great filming.
he probably didn't save him out of goodness of his heart. He probably saved him because he was like, right, so if I leave now, he's probably dead and I'll be on the run for the rest of my life, or I could save him and then
Why
we're
would he be on
even
the run for the rest of his life?
because all the gang are still searching for him.
crossing Marcel Wallace.
Yeah.
But if Marcellus Wallace is dead though.
Yeah, they're still gonna go for him because they're gonna think he
But
killed
would they
him.
even know he killed him?
Well, I think
That's who they because there's eyewitnesses at the scene. Where he
people
ran him over?
Find out, like if he's the big kingpin that he.
Yeah, and he was the last person that saw him and was with him. They're gonna be like, this motherfucker killed him. So
This motherfucker.
so he was probably like, it wasn't out of goodness of his heart. He was probably like, yeah, I'll save him, and then we're even, and then he'll let me go. And that's what happened. So he saves him from getting raped.
Marcellus then says that hey, we're even as long as he tells no one about the rape.
Yeah, and it's so weird because
from
he's
LA
picking out a weapon in the pawn shop,
Yeah.
and it's just going through. He's like, first thing he picks up his hammer, and then he's like a hammer's perfectly fine, but he goes like, no, let's get a baseball, and then he goes like, oh no, let's use this samurai sword, which is a reference to Kill Bill. It's like a teaser, for.
Is it a reference to
No,
Kill Bill?
I don't know. It's just like I like to think it is.
So it's not.
And then he goes, saves him, and then they leave.
Then he takes Zed's bike or chopper, and brings it back. And then I have my favorite line of the movie.
I'll be back.
His wife is like, "Whose motorcycle is this? It's a chopper, baby. Whose chopper is this? Zed's. Who's Zed? Zed's dead. No.
You mixed up the voices.
No.
Zed's dead, baby.
Yeah, I love it.
And then that's the last we see of him for the movie. And then we cut back. This is so weird. Right, so
Cut to the start of the film.
Yeah, we cut back to the.
Wait, no, actually, I need. Wait. Okay.
You gotta do it. Okay.
Whose motorcycle is this? It's a chopper, baby. Whose chopper is this? Zed's.
That's terrible.
He's almost done.
Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
And then they leave.
No, it's
Oh my god.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Cool. And then we cut back to nearly the start of the movie.
See, I said
Where-
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead, but it's actually Zed's dead. Zed's dead, baby.
Okay. And then we cut back to the start where Vince Vega and Jules.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Okay, just cut me off then.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Just cut me off.
He's driving away and he screams, Yippee-ki-yay!
Funny.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I love that. Sam Jackson just says motherfucker all the time in the movie.
Hey,
He's constantly just
because
saying-
he's a bad motherfucker.
I'm a bad mother.
Ah.
Yeah, it's on his wallet, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
That's a
then-
great line. Which one's your wallet? The one that says "bad motherfucker" on it. That's a fucking.
That is
wallet.
so good. I
It's
love
so
that.
good.
But
I want that wallet.
right, so
Slashing.
we cut back to the hit at the very start of the movie, and we realised that there was actually another guy with a gun in the bathroom, and he runs out and he shoots like 4 shots at Vince Vega and Jules, and then they're both just standing there, and then they both kill him, and then Sam Jackson just gets like an epiphany that he should give up his job because he thinks God saved him from the bullets, and John Travolta just thinks, it's a bit of luck. But he just goes like, God did this. This is divine intervention, Vince. And and he decides to give up the gangster life. It's really cool.
The most man laugh. And gangster's power. Boom.
And then,
Is that the song from the Sonic trailer?
oh yeah, meow.
Meow.
It's so bad. Remember when we saw that we went into school and then we were just like, did you see the trailer?
Matthew, have you seen it?
And then we go to, and then we realised how they changed from their suits into like these different clothes completely. They're
bringing
driving
the
away
guy
with
back
one
in
of
the car, right?
guys, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Vince Vega like turns back in the car with a gun pointing at him and he's like,
What do
asking
you
him
think,
quick.
Marvin?
yeah, and then he just
Yeah.
pulls the trigger by accident. He's like, oh shit!
You shot Marv!
It's fucking amazing. It's so funny. Going from like something weird and intense with the GIMP stuff, where you're just shocked, to this genuinely hysterical moment is fucking great.
Then we go to Quentin Tarantino then.
Yeah, Tarantino says.
Jimmy.
And then Mr. White comes in all of a sudden. It's Mr. White, right?
Harvey Keitel, yeah.
Yeah. He just
And
bops
he's like
in.
a professional. He's like a professional clean up
Yeah.
artist or something for killers. So I don't know what they're called.
He's the wolf, right? Or Mr. Wolf?
The White Wolf.
We have to have Quentin Tarantino just like saying the N word in front of Samuel Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
he's
casually just dropping
I
it.
don't want no dead.
Dead.
and then he goes, Sam Jackson rings Marcellus Wallace and he's like, we need to get someone down here, man. We got a body. And he goes like, I'm going to send the wolf down and help you. And then he just goes like, shit, N-word. Why did you just say that? Oh, he's so good in the movie. And then they clean up the body, they get these different clothes, and then we cut to the very start of the movie.
The
The
diner.
restaurant.
We're back at the diner or the restaurant.
And then that scene is like 10 minutes long, and it's so intense, and it's so good. What happens?
Well, they're about to stick him up and just
Oh,
basically
yeah.
Did they get talked down or are they
Yeah,
shot?
Vince Vega goes into the toilet and take a shit while they're eating, and then Sam Jackson like has a change of heart, and he decides not to kill Tim Roth and his girl, and lets them go because he doesn't want to kill them, but he doesn't want Tim Roth to kill all the people in the restaurant.
Mm.
So he's just like, I'm gonna let you go because I'm trying to be the shepherd. He's like, I'm trying to be the shepherd, and and then Vince Vega comes out pointing a gun at the girl who's pointing a gun at Sam Jackson, who's pointing it at Tim Roth, and then he lets them go. And like it's the weird thing is any other day, or even like an hour earlier, if those shots didn't miss them, he just would have killed them like without hesitation. But he has a change of heart, and then they both leave. They walk out the door. Roll credits.
And it's great.
It's so good. It's
What
just
a
so
great
good.
movie. What a fantastic
I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10.
I give him 10 out of 10.
The only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 is because it can kind of get confusing at times because we're at one event and then we go to something completely different and then we're back here and then we're actually up here and then back here.
Well, I think by
and
the
back
end
again.
of it, you're not confused.
Yeah, I know. But
At the
it's
time, you're
at
like,
the
whoa, hang
time,
on a
yeah.
second. But that's just the way it's done. And by the end
But
of it, you're
it's
fine.
brilliant.
If you were confused afterwards, then...
Oh, I wasn't. But like,
Yeah.
it was just, I just thought it was a bit weird the way they just kept jumping to different things. But it's still great. I love it so much.
Non-linear storytelling.
What a curse. But yeah. So what would you give it? You gave it a 10, 9.5
I'd
from
give
me.
it a 10, yeah.
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 And,
As I say,
you
3
see, I
masterpieces.
don't really want to give any movie a 10 out of 10 because like, the perfect movie doesn't exist. You know.
Yeah, well, that's where an 11 out of 10 comes, you know?
Oh my god. Right. So last movie
Speaking of
today.
the perfect movie,
All right,
you've
sure.
Kill Bill. Volume 1. I
Only
watched this for the
15
first time
minutes
ever
to do
last
this, so-
night. We 15. Yeah, we'll get this done. This movie's amazing. This is like the fourth movie, is it? Is this after Dusk Till Dawn?
Dustin Hoffman's not. It's him in it, but he doesn't direct it. It's after Jackie Brown, I think.
Fucking forgot about Jackie Brown.
Dustin Dawn, I think I think that's way George Clooney, but he doesn't direct it. I don't think.
I'm gonna look that up because I thought he did.
But if my recollection, it's Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 2, Death Proof, could be before or after Kill Bill, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm gonna look up what movies he's done.
So this movie came out in 2003 with Uma Thurman, who looks really hot in it as well.
Very good, Matthew.
I can't deny.
Man named Cook, and I like the fuck.
That's so good. Oh,
Have you seen her daughter in real life? She's in Stranger Things for all of ye who don't know.
My god.
She plays
he
she plays
directed
Robin.
My Best Friend's Birthday. It's a short film. Okay.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, both Kill Bills, Grindhouse, Death Proof,
Sin City.
Inglourious Bastards. He partially directed Sin City.
Isn't that bad?
No, Sin City 2 is bad.
Oh.
Hateful Eight. Okay.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Fair enough.
So in Dusk Till Dawn, he wrote it and produced it.
Do you know Danny DeVito produced Pulp Fiction?
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, yeah.
I love Danny DeVito.
I really want to watch Get Shorty actually with him and John Travolta. That's meant to be really good.
He's short, isn't he? Danny DeVito is quite
Here,
small.
you just start talking about it, I just need to take a piss.
Alright.
You can cut that out too.
No. So far, nothing is getting cut out.
Hurry. Well, you have to cut out the whole part when we were with the dog and it was just so...
No, it's entertaining.
Yeah, I love Pulp Fiction for many reasons, yeah.
Kill Bill. We're talking about Kill Bill now.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction is just my favorite. Fucking hell. I'll be drowned in his own piss now.
Drowns in his own piss. Wow.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction does really evoke my love for film.
It's incredible. It's amazing.
I think I remember when I was like 13, 14, my dad put it on. I wasn't allowed, but like watched it.
That's a bit young to watch Pulp
Yeah,
Fiction.
I was only saw like a few bits of it. I was like, this is a fucking great movie because I just saw the whole like.
In my mind, Matthew doesn't know we can hear him. He's just having a wank.
Then I watched it when I was like 16.
Back, dudes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I love this movie.
So, I first watched Kill Bill last week.
I watched it last night.
Well, I gave Kill Bill 1 a 7.5 out of 10. It's really good, but I think the first scene where she
Well, we'll go through the
sets
plot.
the scene, it sets the tone, and then she goes to the woman's house because she was involved in her baby getting killed, basically. Well, getting killed.
No
very-
spoilers for 2, by the way, because I have not seen 2. Please.
Because like I feel like what was you saying like it's the ending and the first bit and the ending, but that's like good like hour 15 of the movie because the ending is like
It's like
half an hour,
40
Yeah.
minutes long.
That's
and
the
starts
best
like
bit.
20 minutes and so
Yeah.
it's like an hour of the movie.
Yeah, like
It's
the
an
first
hour and a half.
20 minutes, and then I kind of think when she's like going around the world trying to get trained, I think that's kind of boring. That
It's
stuff.
like 15 minutes
Like
long.
the scene where she's in the sushi restaurant is really good, where she's talking to her man and he's just going mad saying, like speaking in Japanese,
Get the
like,
sake.
get the sake, or whatever. But then it's kind of boring, I think.
Well, let's go through it. We open in black and white, and it's Black Mamba. I keep calling her Bill because in my mind, Kill Bill. Oh, the main character must be Bill.
Mobamba?
She's called she's called that or the bride.
I got fuck.
I've lost the plot.
Yeah, she's just in El Paso in a chapel, and just the leader Bill, their leader comes in. It's like, Bill, it's your baby, and he shoots her. And then we just cut to like 4 years later.
Hurry up.
Thank you.
I don't have much time with.
And she just goes to the home of this like woman, and we hear the meme song, the noise. What's the noise?
foghorn?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
the flashback noise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
I can't-
fucking great. It makes me
Oh,
laugh.
yeah.
every
It's
time.
like a classic.
The sound effect. The sound design in this movie is like part of it's really great, but the other part is there's so much like. And like every time they move their fucking hands, it's a bit distracting, especially in this first fight scene between Black Mamba and Veterina Green. Is that her?
I've got holes in my.
Kill
Every time you
Bill.
say that now.
Whistle, is that it?
Okay.
Kill Bill. Siren. That'll be it.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go.
I'm gonna send a text saying to collect me. By the time they get here, they'll probably like we'll probably be done. Yeah, it's so good.
What a great sound effect. And the score in this is really great. There's like, the score is like, of all the Tarantino films, the score really stood out to me.
It's his best looking film as well.
Easily.
I
It's
think
fucking
Reservoir Dogs
gorgeous.
is the best score from the ones I've watched so
That's
far.
soundtrack, that's not score.
Well, you know what I mean. Like.
I said score though. Your favorite music genre is film scores and you're gonna throw in soundtrack?
No, it isn't.
You said that.
No, I just say I love listening to film scores.
Fuck's sake.
Okay, this has the best score, alright? Easily. It's like this Western
like the
influence
score
thing. It's
perfect.
so fucking like spaghetti Western influence. It's amazing. Ah.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, we have
I
this
just got mixed up there, sir.
amazing fight scene between Black Mamba and Is it Vernita Green? Vernita Green.
Gets cut off by her child coming in.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And it's a great way to show a little bit of mercy on Mamba's part. Oh my god, he's getting another call. It's
He's just a thumb blow. You have the dog barking in the back for like 20 minutes.
all right. So okay, we're having this fucking amazing fight scene. It's a lot. The sound design, especially, everything seems to have this great impact to it. They smash through their fucking glass table or whatever, and then they eventually have a bit of a fucking like a peace treaty when her daughter Nikita.
That's great. He really doesn't make like. I just hear like, yeah, Uma, kill her, kill that bitch, Uma, and then you're like, oh no, she has a daughter.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, no. And they just have a little conversation in the kitchen about their like past days as like assassins or whatever Black Mamba was. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest.
I've got.
Right, you don't want to upload it, don't.
For recording it, I think.
Oh, okay. Right, so hurry.
Oh my gosh.
Kill Bill. Right, so after that, what happens?
No, and then she fucking Vernita Green goes to the back, gets a cereal, tries to shoot Black Mamba out of nowhere. Mamba grabs her knife, throws it through her heart and
She
kills
drops
her.
her cup and kicks it at her, and it misses her on purpose, and then she pulls the gun out and shoots her.
And it's fucking amazing.
It's great.
Um,
Right, we have about 10 minutes, I'd say. 4.
Okay. And then we cut to 4 years earlier because we look at her list and I think it's a bit annoying because that's the second person on the list and you can see the top person's gone and you can see it's Oren. So I was like, okay, well Oren obviously dies then. And I obviously know.
Well, how else was it going to end? She was obviously going to kill everyone to get the kill.
I know, but it's still a bit like it would have been nice not to 100% know. It's like in Infinity War. I know everyone's coming back. I know they're not dead from the snap. But I'd still I don't want them being in the fucking
Well, not all of them
promotional
were.
material.
Like, Black Widow didn't come back. Iron Man didn't come back when he snapped.
None of them were snapped. Everyone who gets snapped, I'm saying.
Yeah, but you
I'm
think
like, I
they'd
know they're
save
all
all
dead.
of them and save that person.
What? No, I'm.
It doesn't matter, just move on.
Remember the part where the bride picks up Bill's Mjolnir? It's pretty good.
Sure. I was saying that I'm not they have they when she kills Vernita Green, they show her list and Oren is already crossed off it, and I'm a bit like, oh well, I know she definitely dies then, you know.
Well, like, it's not that big of a surprise, really.
I know it's not a surprise, but like in Star Wars, the bad guys are gonna lose. I still don't want to go in knowing that the bad guys are gonna lose. You know. And the example I gave was Infinity War. I know everyone who died in the snap is gonna come back. I still don't want them to come out and say it.
Big pussy.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't think it really takes it away from them.
I was just a bit like, I know how this is gonna go.
Fair enough.
But it makes up for it in that fight scene because it's so stylistic and amazing and beautiful. We cut to 4 years earlier, and it's a sheriff investigating the wedding chapel and discovers that she's alive.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, she looks
comatose.
Hoxalugi on
Just a little shot of all the sunglasses on the mirror.
Yeah.
It's really
It's so like, it's such a nice touch.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's nice.
It's fucking dumb.
No, like, it's just so random, like.
Deadly Viper with an eye patch coming to kill Black Mamba with like a lethal injection, and then Bill all of a sudden is like, nah, don't do it. It's dishonorable or whatever. How would that disguise work? She has an eye patch. It's not like you're gonna be like, oh, I just don't recognize her. You're like, oh my gosh, this new person working here has an eye patch.
She's wearing a slutty nurse uniform.
That
I
might
don't
be
think,
one-
don't think they're really going for like.
That might
Sure.
be. That kind of makes, like, sense, though, because the movie is so wacky and it's so weird and doesn't make any sense that having that in it is just like. What
Yeah,
the
maybe
fuck?
in this world it's like normal.
Yeah, it's just weird, and it's
That's
like
fair.
that's the reason for it.
That's fair. Bill wakes up, finds out she's no longer pregnant,
Yeah, whoa,
and like
whoa.
starts screaming
That's
and
not
shit.
Bill.
Damn!
It's the bride.
I'm just so used to being like Kill Bill. Oh, and that title is beside the girl in the yellow, so that must be
And
Bill.
then like the doctor like lets people pay him to like bang her
$75 to bang her.
comatose body.
Awful.
Fucking
Definitely
disgusting.
He goes down to kiss her because she's like pretending to be asleep, and it starts screaming,
Yeah.
and she's biting his lip, and then it cuts to her covered in his blood. He's very clearly dead. She tries to get out of her bed, collapses because obviously she hasn't used her legs in 4 years. Kills the guy who's arranged the whole like weird rape thing. Goes into his pussy wagon, which I love.
The car.
The car even looks nice.
And then
as well.
she just lies
She's
there
trying
for the
to
night
wiggle
trying
her
to
toe.
wiggle her toes, and she goes into the backstory.
And then as that's happening, she decides to give the backstory on one of the members of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, great name, Oren Ishii, and it's beautiful. It's this amazing. This would count as the middle of the film, right?
Yeah.
Which you don't like. This
I thought it was
beautiful,
kind of boring.
I like it.
beautiful
I really
anime.
like
It is
You love anime, do
gorgeous.
you?
I'm not. I've watched like Attack on Titan. I'm not overly into it, but this is just the animation in this is gorgeous. It's so stylistic. Like if there's like one drop of blood in like what a regular would be, it's everywhere. It just covers the
sprays all.
room.
It's so weird.
It's fucking beautiful. And you see her and her father like gets killed, and then her mother gets killed, and like even just like the kid Ren is like under a bed hiding. She like lets out this whimper out of her mouth. The sound is like the spelling of whimper slowly coming out, and she grabs it, puts it back into her, like
That's cool.
silences herself. I would love to see Tarantino just direct an animated film just because of this like 15 minute scene. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. This is when I was like, oh, I'm in love with this film.
And then
during this scene.
she learns to walk again, and she goes to fucking Okinawa
Oh,
to learn how
There's
to.
shots of feet in it, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, isn't
He's
there?
quite horny, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then she gets a sword off this like
Him
master
and Dan
crafter,
Schneider.
like off this master crafter. Okay.
Dan Schneider.
Okay.
Yeah, but Dan Schneider doesn't hide it.
No, he does not at all. I was watching Victoria.
She gets like this sword off this.
There's a scene in Victoria where like she's just putting ketchup all over her feet. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Listen.
There's a scene in Victoria's where she's just wanking off Dan Schneider with her feet.
Well, she gets this master crafted sword, so then she goes
By
to Japan.
Hattori Hanzo. And there's
Hattori.
the great...
Hanzo from Overwatch. Is that who it's meant to be?
Jeez. Yeah, she
And then
gets...
she goes to Japan, and then she goes and she fights, and it's over.
We're just like rushing
Hate
through
you.
the whole film.
This like great like 10-minute scene of like Black Mamba
Because you don't
talking
have much
to
time, dudes.
Hattori Hanzo.
You don't have much time.
And just like... And apparently he trained Bill. Who like he's a
And he
former
knows he
student.
must end him because he's become a monster.
And he had like he
He's
made
become
like
everything he's fought against his whole life, damn it!
Come on, guys.
He crafts this amazing sword that's supposed to be like the best sword ever or some shit.
It's some like typical like thing that you'd see in one of those movies, isn't it?
And she shows how Oren became like leader of the Yakuza.
That kind of reminds me. That kind of reminds you of Aquaman, where it's like, do you know in Aquaman when Willem Dafoe is telling him.
I've never seen Aquaman. Neither of us
Well,
have
he
seen
te-
Aquaman.
We're the vote with Aquaman.
Yeah,
He tells him.
that wasn't a joke earlier.
He tells him that he has to find this lost
I
trident.
know.
He tells him he needs to find this lost trident, of like Atlan. And
Hey, you know what? No
Jason
spoilers. I
Momoa
haven't
goes
seen
like,
it yet.
Jason Momoa goes like, yeah, I know the story, and he continues to say the story. We're forced to hear the backstory of it. It's so funny. I don't give a fuck, Jason. Basically, back in the days of old Atlantis, you know.
Guys, you gotta hurry up. I don't have time.
And then he just goes like, "No, you can't do this to me. You know how much I've sacrificed."
Of 2 Oscar nominations in the space of like 3 years, he fucking does Aquaman.
Yep, that's
Fucking
him,
hell.
alright.
He needs money.
He was supposed to be in Justice League, but they could have seen. Yeah, I know.
Right. So then,
Okay, so she gets her amazing sword, and we see Oren like the first night she's leader of the Yakuza, or Yakuza or whatever.
Hurry.
She is like, shut the fuck up! You just went on an Aquaman rant.
Sorry, and then she goes, and there's like this
Shut up!
meeting. Yeah, and there's this meeting, and
And someone questions her, being like,
basically there's
We're not uploading.
he wants to kill us.
I love this movie. I
Right,
just
you
love-
explain, baby.
Anytime there's
You
a cut,
explain,
like
baby.
blood sprays everywhere. Yeah, she's questioned because she's like half American or whatever, and she just goes up to him, cuts off his fucking head, and is like, "I'm gonna say this in English so that I can say it better and
Please
don't
the
get angry."
audience.
And she just basically, that's the actual reason. And just I'd like to, and she comedically is like, "Now, anytime you have any problems with me, go ahead and say it. It's totally fine, but never bring up the fact that I'm half American because I'll fucking kill you."
Yeah.
And it's so good.
And then we're basically now in the final act, which is like
Yeah.
fucking so
It's a
good.
40-minute
best
long
bit of the
fight
film.
scene.
It's the
It's
best,
incredible.
best part of it. It's so like unrealistic. It's amazing. Like it's so unrealistic.
Black
She takes
Lambda
on, like,
tracks her down,
500
goes to like this weird, like,
dojo.
it's this, I don't know what you'd even call it.
It's kind of like a restaurant dojo,
Yeah.
like from Club Penguin.
I don't know if I'd call just anywhere in Japan a dojo. Cause
No,
that's-
it looks
I
like a
feel like
dojo.
that would be kind of racist to just call any brand building a dojo.
This is a dojo.
It's a takeaway. Oh, the two.
But,
Japan is filled with takeaways and dojos. Those are the only two things.
Which one, please?
so she goes there and she takes on like 500 of her
Yeah.
lieutenants
It's
or
insane.
something.
She just starts cutting off limbs left, right, and
And
center.
she's just spinning in circles, just doing this
One
shit.
of the best things in the whole movie is just at the very end when everyone's dead, it just cuts to like the floor and there's just about 50 guys on the ground like, having their fucking arms cut off. It's amazing.
And then she goes
Oh,
inside and takes on. And she takes on Lucy Liu.
Is that Lucy Liu?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
She takes on Lucy
Wow.
Liu, and that fight is kind of underwhelming. It was just like it was so
No.
built up, and then it was just like
If it was, that's the thing,
Ah,
it's so
but-
different from the one we just had.
Yeah,
if it
I
was
know.
like the other one, I
but
would
it
have
was
been
just
like, okay,
you were
fine.
expecting an epic battle.
It
with,
was an epic battle, it was tense. She fucking scalps the bitch.
Yeah, it's fucked up, isn't it?
It's amazing.
And then she just goes like,
And it's just in this beautiful snow.
and once she go like,
boner.
he's oh my god.
There's a tent being hung in my pants right now.
And then she goes,
Yeah.
she goes, all right. So basically, she's like, oh yeah, basically, I take back everything I said about you before, and then she just dies, and
Yeah,
that's
great.
it. And then she brings her mate to the hospital, and she goes like, I only saved you so you could tell Bill what happened and all
Yeah.
this shit. And then she closes the trunk when she throws her out, and it ends.
No, because at the very end of the film, Bill says to Sophie,
Oh yeah,
and
shit.
he's like, well, does she know their daughter's still alive? Credits, and you're like,
dum dum dum.
oh my, oh, it's
I'm
such
going
a
another
good
year
ending.
for this.
It's such a good fucking cliffhanger ending. It's insane. It just, it's so obvious, but you don't expect it. It's, oh my gosh.
But
It's fucking incredible. I cannot wait to watch the second one.
I'd give this a 7.5.
This is another 10. What is wrong with you, 7 out of 10?
It's really good, yeah. I'd
It's amazing.
Alright, I'll give it an 8 then if that'll make you happy.
No, you have to give it 10.
You gotta give it a 10. I'll give it an 8 because you kind of remind me of a few scenes that I kind of forgot about that are actually good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Maybe there's only a 10-minute period in which you don't like. That's it, really.
No, like after the first scene when she goes to Okinawa and all that, that's just I think that's really boring.
But what's
until
the
it gets
boring
to the
part?
final act.
Where she goes,
It
where
just
she
feels so slow and it's like.
But like the part where she gets the sword.
Yeah, I just.
That's
think...
genuinely like 10 minutes long.
No, not that. And then after that, like all the part where she's like explaining your one's backstory. And all
No, that's.
I just
amazing.
go. I'm just kind of like I was just sitting there. and I was like, yeah. I prefer Volume 2. I really prefer Volume 2.
I'll have to watch Volume 2 very soon.
I prefer it a lot more. I
Um,
don't know if that's me being
if we do this next week, we'll talk about Volume 2. So today we've probably covered the 3 most popular and best Tarantino
Well, apart
films.
from Volume 1.
So, yeah.
Solid, man.
If we do this next week, we'll be discussing Django Unchained, Kill Bill 2,
Glorious
and
Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards. If we even upload this. Who knows what will
So,
happen.
hope you had a good time.
Yeah,
You know,
probably
we hope you had some hot chocolate, you know, snuggled in a
Next
blanket.
week, Matthew will be coming out as gay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's gonna happen. We know
Even
it.
though I have a
Essentially.
girlfriend.
Don't pull Tron Travolta.
You don't have a girl. You're really
Yeah.
gonna pretend you have a girlfriend.
I'm alone, hit me up.
I'm so lonely. Please call me.
But yeah, that's it. So
Oh, thank you for listening.
thanks for listening, guys.
Always.
So for the good amount of people that will hopefully listen to this.
Quote when I said
So
Right. If I'm Kieran. I have a different podcast. If you haven't listened to that, on wrestling with my friend Rian, called the Hallway Wrestling Podcast. It's a great show. It's probably better than this. It's more organized. If you enjoy wrestling,
Cool.
give that a listen
He's,
because
he's
it's good.
he's just taking the piss out of our
This is
show.
our first episode.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about? Genuinely.
Basically,
We're gonna probably record a new episode next week. I don't think this week because we've gotten complications.
as we say at the end of every episode of A Fistful of Popcorn.
That's my thing. That's my thing from the Hallway Wrestling Podcast.
So what are we
As
gonna
we say at the end of every episode of the Hallway Wrestling Podcast, fuck you, Matthew.
Thanks.
Bastard.
What will
Thank
we
you
say?
for listening.
No, wait.
Oh my god.
Right. So what will we say at the end of
What's the joke from Pulp Fiction about the ketchup?
Le Royale with cheese. Avec cheese.
this? So we're gonna end it with, what do they call a quarter pounder in France? Yeah, an El
Matthew's a
Royale with
dickhead.
cheese. Thanks for listening, guys.
Matthew's a prick.
Yeah.
He's gonna die a virgin.